Hi guys, welcome to Sahara Movies. Today we are talking about the new Netflix series titled Wednesday. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the background of the movie, the plot, and some spoilers for those who haven't watched yet, and then about the release of season 2. But before I start, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and then hit the like button as well. So now let's delve into today's video. So Wednesday is a Netflix series that was released on 23rd of November 2022, but has been trending on Netflix and other platforms till now for about 7 weeks. This series is practically an update of the film called The Addams Family. I don't know if you've heard it before, with a distinct Gen Z twist. The Addams Family was first released in 1964 and then recreated in 1991 with Christina Ricci starring as Wednesday, the first child of the family. This new series, however, focuses more on Wednesday with some mysteries unfolding. In this series, Wednesday, the main character, the firstborn child of the Addams family, comes off as a mean, emotionless person who thinks very highly of herself, doesn't think anybody else matters, and doesn't care about what people think of her. She could be very controlling, and even at a point, I got really angry because I didn't understand why her friends were allowing her to control them like that. But I guess, that's how the movie is supposed to be. She's supposed to be the main controlling one. So, in the beginning of the series, there's a scene where Wednesday releases piranhas into a pool that some boys were swimming in. Apparently, those boys bullied her brother and she couldn't take that. So she released the piranhas into the pool to eat these boys alive, like alive. And the piranhas actually did that, and I think two boys died because of that. Yeah, no, that was really creepy and scary. So, in as much as the piranha scene didn't go well with the boys in that pool, it did not go well for Wednesday either because she was expelled from the school that day. Given that Wednesday has been expelled from so many schools since she started schooling, her parents then decided to take her to Nevermore Academy. So, Nevermore Academy is a school for outcasts that couldn't fit in normal schools because of their abilities, their looks, and other things. Most of the parents of the students who attended the school have also attended the school themselves, including Wednesday's parents, Morticia and Gomez. After arriving at Nevermore, Wednesday was introduced to her roommate Enid, a werewolf who was yet to wolf out and who seemed to love colorful things as opposed to Wednesday. Enid shows Wednesday around the school, ignoring how cold Wednesday was responding to her. This is where Wednesday learns about Bianca, the competitive self-made queen of the academy, who later on becomes her rival because her ex-boyfriend Xavier fell in love with Wednesday. She also learns about the different abilities of some of the students in the school, like the skills of the mermaids, the werewolves, and other abilities that the students have. After everything, Wednesday said goodbyes to her parents, and then they also made sure to leave a companion with her to spy on her. The companion is called Thing, just like a hand that is a human being on its own. So they sent this hand to spy on her, but she was able to catch it, and then they actually became companions in the movie. The hand was really helpful in the movie. I have no idea if Wednesday has a problem with going to school or not. But in episode 1, all she could think about was how to escape from Nevermore, and so she started planning towards that. This is when she meets Tyler, who works at a coffee shop and happens to be the son of the sheriff of the town. After a few conversations, it appeared that Tyler had fallen for Wednesday. I don't know why all the guys are falling for her, but then Tyler fell for Wednesday, and she probably also fell for him, but Wednesday has no emotions, so she didn't want to show any emotions towards anybody. So, as part of the plan to escape from Nevermore, Tyler decides to help Wednesday by driving her out of the school. But this took a turn when Wednesday had a vision about one of the students in the school called Rowan, who she bumped into while they were trying to run away into a car. She followed Rowan into the woods only to find out that she was going to destroy the school, so he had to kill her. Apparently, his mom gave him a painting that is like a prophecy that shows that Wednesday has something to do with the school being destroyed. So he decided to take it upon himself to kill her to avoid that distraction. But before Rowan could finish the task, a monster appeared in the woods and then killed Rowan. At this point, Wednesday forgot trying to run away from the school and she became obsessed with figuring out what the drawing was about and why she was involved with the destruction of the school. And this is where all the mystery starts to unfold. Wednesday begins her investigations and had a vision about Joseph Crackstone, the founder of Jericho, and Goody Addams, her ancestor, learning that Goody was one of her last ancestors after Crackstone burned most of the outcasts alive. And mind you, Joseph Crackstone was in the painting that Rowan had about the distraction of the school. After further investigations, Wednesday decides to boycott the school's dance night to go into the woods with her new friend, Eugene, in search of a cave drawn by Xavier. However, Thing, her companion, gets in the way and Wednesday had no choice but to go to the dance with Tyler. That night, Wednesday warned Eugene not to go into the woods by himself. But Eugene ignored this warning and went into the woods by himself that night and got attacked by the monster. Can you imagine? Don't go. You say I'll go. Fortunately or unfortunately, Wednesday had a vision while she was dancing at the party about Eugene being attacked by the monster. So she went chasing after Eugene in the bush, but she got there too late because at that point the monster had already attacked Eugene, even though he didn't die. During Wednesday's investigations, she also found out that her parents were actually involved in the murder of Garrett Gates, the son of Ansel Gates, who happens to be a descendant of Joseph Crackstone. And all these people hated Outcast so much. Wednesday solves the murder case with her mom and finds out that Garrett Gates was actually already dying after he got injected with a poison given to him by his father to poison and kill all the outcasts. Hmm. Hmm. When you try to poison someone, you end up poisoning your own self. Funny. Now back to investigating who the monster was. Wednesday's uncle, Fester, whom I saw was the first person she ever smiled to in the whole series, came to Wednesday's school trying to find a place to lay low and help Wednesday to figure out that the monster was actually called a Hyde and was being controlled by a master. They didn't know who the master was. Neither did they know who the Hyde was. Initially, I even thought the Hyde was just a monster that comes from somewhere, but apparently it's a human being that turns to the monster, and then that monster has a master that is controlling it. So far, the investigation was going really well for Wednesday, and she's been spying on Xavier for a long time because he somehow always appears after the monster attacks someone. The monster can come in and kill someone, like 2 minutes later, Xavier comes running to the scene to help Wednesday out. And even on one occasion while she was spying on him, she saw him meeting secretly with Dr. Valerie Kimbot, the therapist she first had to go visit when she came to the school. Because of this secret meeting and other happenings, Wednesday concluded that, oh, okay, then it means Xavier is the hide and Miss or Dr. Kimbot is his master. Unfortunately for Xavier too, that night, Wednesday found some evidence in his room, like the inhaler for rowing and other stuff, and then invited the police to arrest him. So that night, Xavier was arrested. And we thought, oh, okay, then everything is solved now because now we know who the hide is, we know who his master was, and then we've also been able to solve the murder case. So yeah, everything was fine. Thinking that everything was over, now Wednesday thought it was time for her to start showing emotions towards Tyler. So she went to see him at the coffee shop that night to tell him how she felt about him. So after telling him how she felt, it was so romantic, and they both kissed. And then, newsflash, Wednesday had a vision about Tyler being the hide. Can you imagine? I don't know how she felt, but I'm sure she felt very disappointed because you've made them go to arrest Xavier saying that he's the hide, blah blah blah. And then you've decided to go and meet the love of your life and you realize that he was actually the monster. Hey, realizing she's made a very huge mistake, she left Tyler at the coffee shop without telling him that he's actually seen that he is the monster. She just left, went to inform Bianca and other students, and then they all plotted, went to kidnap Tyler in order to bring the truth out of him. But what they didn't plan for was to torture Tyler to speak the truth. So when Wednesday started bringing out tools and equipment to torture Tyler, all the students backed out and left her at the scene and rather went to report her to their principal. The sheriff and other policemen came to the scene and then arrested Wednesday for kidnapping Tyler and trying to torture him. However, when they went to the station, Tyler's father decided not to press charges against Wednesday if only the principal will expel Wednesday from the school. So the principal decided to expel Wednesday from the school, and then the sheriff dropped all charges. But before they left the station, that was when Tyler actually approached Wednesday and then told her that he was a monster, he doesn't regret it, and he even threatened her that she has no idea of what's coming next. I'm sure at this point, Wednesday felt so helpless and she couldn't even believe that she's lost in that manner for someone who likes to win everything. But then before she left the school, before she went home, she told the principal that she would want to go and visit Eugene in the hospital. So Eugene has been in the hospital for a while after going into coma when he was attacked by the monster. So she decides to pass by his hospital before she heads home. At the hospital, Eugene told Wednesday that that night he saw someone wearing black coats. And Wednesday asked that, okay, but what boots was she wearing? And he told her, oh, she was wearing red boots. That is when Wednesday figured out who was trying to burn that cave and who was actually the master of the hide or the master or the person controlling Tyler. This unfortunately happened to be Miss Thornhill, who was the daughter of Ansel Gates, who worked as a teacher in Nevermore. So she was the only normal teacher or the only teacher in Nevermore who was not a real outcast. So apparently Miss Thornhill was the daughter of Ansel Gates who faked her death to avenge her family. So after Hansel Gates Sanders Garrett died, the rest of his family died except Laura Gates, which is Miss Thornhill. So she decided that okay, she's going to avenge her family by using Joseph Crackstone, who also happens to be her ancestor. After finding this out, Wednesday told the principal what Eugene had said and they headed back to the school. And then they tried to stop Miss Thornhill, but that failed because Miss Thornhill killed the principal on the spot after the truth was revealed. After failing to stop Miss Thornhill or Laura Gates, she awakened Joseph Crackstone with Wednesday's blood and then some body parts of the victims that the monster killed. So apparently, Wednesday's ancestor, Goody Addams, right, locked the soul of Joseph Crackstone in a particular tomb, and only the blood of her descendants could open that tomb, right? And so that's actually why Miss Thornhill commanded the monster to go and kill Rowan when Rowan was trying to kill Wednesday to protect her until she was ready to use her blood. So when Joseph Crackstone was awakened by Miss Thornhill or Laura Gates, the students were evacuated from the school while Wednesday had a sword fight with Crackstone and Enid moved out to fight Tyler in the woods. Finally, that day, fortunately for everybody, Enid moved out and fought Tyler in the woods. After all the fighting and the up and downs, you know how fightings can be in movies. Wednesday was able to kill Crackstone with the help of Bianca, and she also killed Miss Thornhill after Eugene commands his bees to try to sting her. And Enid also managed to subdue Tyler after a tough fight, where he was chained and taken away by the police. Even at that point, the sheriff accepted that his son is actually not a normal human being and allowed that he was chained and taken away. After all the fighting and everything was done, Wednesday finally hugs Enid after everything and after all the attempts made by Enid since Wednesday came to the school. Since Wednesday came to the school, Enid had been trying to hug her for a long time. Every time she tries to hug her, Wednesday just backs away. But at the end of the movie, they both hugged and it was so beautiful. Finally, it was the end of the semester. Yay, what every student likes. And everybody was getting ready to go home. Xavier gives Wednesday a phone as a gift for saving her during one of the scenes in the fight before she left. On her way home, Wednesday received a funny text from someone who apparently has been following her, and then the person threatens her that he or she is watching her and then was going to kill her. Finally, to end the series or season one, while the police was taking Tyler away, he turns to the hide. So we have no idea if he'll be able to escape from the police or if they'll be able to subdue him until they take him to wherever they're trying to take him to. We don't know what's going to happen next. So this season one was actually very cool to watch. It was fun to watch. There's always suspense at the end of every episode. You'd always want to watch the next episode. I actually watched the whole season in one day because I just couldn't wait to what was going to happen next after every episode. Now let's talk about season two. So, Netflix has officially confirmed that a second season is on the way. Yay! On January 6th, Netflix released a video in which Jenna Ortega, who starred as Wednesday, says over a montage of season 1 clips and footage of fans' events that, and I quote, over the past few weeks, I've been haunted and mimicked millions of times across the internet. It's been pure torture. Thank you. Wednesday has officially renewed for season 2. Netflix also announced that more misery is coming and the global phenomenon will return for season 2. So in season 2, we expect to see more between Xavier, Wednesday, and Bianca, more love issues and love stuff. Tyler the monster is still out there and might have escaped when the police was driving him. Who knows? What happens now that his master is dead? As we found out during the series, Wednesday killed Miss Thornhill, so who now becomes Tyler's master? We hope to see that in season 2. And then let's hope season 2 comes quickly. If you haven't watched this series, don't miss out. Download it from the link that I'll put below and enjoy. And don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye.